Hey homewreckers, it's Saturday, I think. How's everybody doing? Self-check, make sure you're okay. Again, I think I'm doing these videos more for me than anything else, so I hope these help you. And I kind of said that this recipe is built on relationships, and it's kind of funny because everything's built on relationships, right? And so I'm just gonna start cooking and we're gonna talk. I've got just a little bit of butter in the pan, but I've got some wonderful bulk olive oil right there, which is great because we want to cook in a less expensive oil, and we always want to finish with like a really good oil. And obviously we're using Fustinis today because it's the bomb. And thank you again for the care package. And I think that's goes on the relationships. You know, I haven't heard from Denise in forever. She saw that I was using some of the stuff and she's like, God, are you all right? And I'm like, I think so. And then we just kind of laughed. And then, you know, next thing you know, I'm online and getting a little care package from Fustinis, which is nice. And then I'm looking in my fridge and I'm thinking, I've got some blueberries. I've got this wicked blueberry balsamic. I've got some strawberries that look like eat today or throw away, and we're gonna eat today. Or we can cook it and preserve it for tomorrow. And I was thinking of just my friends and the people that I really care about and I haven't talked to in a while. So, you know, here's your check-in, I suppose. Adam and Nathan, I miss you guys, especially now the weather's nice and I'm going, I need some help on my landscaping and whatnot. But I was just reminiscent of going to their wedding, first hosting the rehearsal dinner here, which was pretty awesome. But more importantly, going to this huge wedding and thinking, one, I'm so glad I'm not catering this because it was huge. And Joseph Van Horn was catering it. And everything was just like awesome. You know, we had snacks here and snacks there. And then we sat down to this wonderful family meal, and my wife and I just looked at each other and we're like, you know what, this is what it's all about. And all of a sudden the food started coming out, and Chef Joseph had this chicken, this blueberry chicken. I'm winging it, Chef, don't judge, but I got a feeling you did something like this. And if not, you can chastise me on the Facebook. I don't care. I'll take anything from you right now. Especially we will be there next week for the fish fry, just saying. So I brined this chicken, right? Because, you know, my good friend Andy Rent was like looking for something for bone-in chicken. All I had was boneless chicken, and that's okay too. So, you know, I'm gonna put that to the side. And so whenever you brine, you really want to make sure that you get the brine kind of off and kind of pat it dry a little bit, just because, you know, we don't want to boil the chicken. I want to saute the chicken right now, right? And that's why I'm getting my oil wicked hot. I'm totally cool with some of this rosemary and the spring onion hanging out. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I usually put it down on the slippery side of the breast first, because then I can get like a really good sear. And as you can see, I've got quite a bit of oil in the pan. But I did that for effect because remember, we cook with our ears and we really want to sear off all the juices. Now, my gosh, these chicken breasts are crazy huge. They're delicious. And, you know, when everything went down, I literally called my Dorm food service rep and like, give me a case of chicken, give me a case of eggs, and give me a case of milk. Because I knew that that's kind of all we needed. And then I called my wife and said, for the love of God, woman, art supplies for Ainsley, go and buy the whole place out. Been really practicing having the cloth sanitizer and a wet towel around, especially when I'm doing these vids. A little bit of bleach and a white towel in a bucket or a bowl around the kitchen at this time is just brilliant. I'm not worried about coming into contact people, because we know that. We're not doing that, and I hope you're practicing that. But I'm worried about the door handles that I use when I do go out, because that virus, according to Dr. Fauci, can live on that door handle. So I open up the door, And then I'm always touching my face. I'm gonna do it now. I don't care who knows it. Who cares, right? I'm feeding my family. But then all of a sudden, that virus can kind of hit me. So watch the door handles, everybody, okay? And just be careful out there. And with it, when you go out, just, you don't have to dye your hair pink to know that you gotta take a shower right away. But you have to know that, hey, I should scrub up every time I walk into the house. So we're just gonna let that kind of hang there. I gave you kind of a cool preview of, what I did is I baked my bacon. You can get lay flat bacon, we call it in the industry. It's already on parchment paper. You can put it right on your cookie sheet, make sure it has an edge, and you bake it, because it's always crispy, it's always good. I only do the pan if I really, if it's just me, because who doesn't love bacon? And why waste that delicious flavor unless it goes against, what you like with the pig. Some people aren't fine with the swine, and that's okay. And I just tossed these long, beautiful carrots, right, in the renderings of that pork, because it's delicious. And I'm getting ready to serve lunch to my lovely family. And I'm just gonna put these carrots here. By the way, Ainsley already ate a whole one of these before we even started. But I'm a firm believer is you eat with your eyes. So I was almost thinking, maybe I want to do mashed potatoes with this, because we're going to make up a killer sauce. But then I thought, you know what? I've got these fingerlings I've got to use, more importantly, which is great. So I just kind of hit them with a little bit of fork, rolled them in the delicious bacon renderings in the same pan. So I didn't have to wash my pan, which is pretty smart, right, guys? And I'm just going to put those right here. And look at that. That looks like we're doing it. Speaking of relationships, this is a platter that my grandmother won probably back in that herbs, so maybe the 60s. I'm all about old, and I'm all about using stuff that, my grandparents used to cook with, because it's just cool. And I just feel that heritage and that culture is passing on through me. So if you got old stuff, it's cool. I mean, not everything has to be matchy-matchy, right? So again, I'm just kind of making sure that this is getting seared. Now, a lot of you are probably always going, you know what, sometimes like one side of the pan browns before the other. And I am guilty of this all the time. I usually will aim it, since this chicken breast hasn't been seared, I aim it, right, for that flame. So you can push your pan over. That's totally cool. I kind of wipe as I go. I don't know if it's because I'm anal retentive or if it's just because I like a clean kitchen. Going through the refrigerator today is the time to repurpose stuff and reuse. So I made that awesome, chicken, delicious stew, and I boiled off some potatoes today. Hi, baby doll. And this is gonna be for dinner tonight. I just mashed up some potatoes, put that layer of stuffing on the bottom, and the chicken stew in the middle, and then I'm just gonna hit this in the oven when I'm good and ready. And now dinner's ready. So we're gonna have a killer lunch today. Yeah, that's why I'm getting a hello from Ainsley. She's probably getting hungry. It's about 12:30, but that's okay. And we're gonna check this real quick. And again, I'm gonna kind of push my pan over, right? Because that's perfect. But that other end is not. Now then, you could have totally, with the size of these breasts, cut these down and made like a killer scallopini, which really means sliced, so you can have a veal or chicken or any kind of scallopini pork. But I like to carve it, but you can do that totally too. And so once these get going here, which is kind of cool, is Now that's nice and sauteed on that side. Now, just for giggles, I'm gonna grab an onion real quick. Just because I think onion adds a lot of flavor. For my dear friend Todd Ernst, I would not do this for you, but especially if you don't like onions, or if you're allergic to them, God forbid, that's sad. And all I'm gonna do though, is I'm gonna kind of just peel it here, right? And for this recipe, I want some big wedges, because she's not a big fan of the onion, but I think that there's nothing more delicious than a big old onion cooked up. And then it's more like meaty, like the carrots. You can cut your carrots any way you want. It's totally cool. Me, I just kind of, I don't know, I just felt like more rustic. I think since we're kind of cooking rustic nowadays, it's just better to do that. You know, I can't help but think of all my friends in the industry right now. You've seen the videos, you've seen, at least on my Facebook and media. And I want you to know that you can be a homemaker, and that's what I'm teaching you. And with the money you save, you should be able to hit a local restaurant for takeout once or twice a week. So if you do these recipes now, I had no problem going to Amore the other night and getting a ridiculous amount of food. Got some flowers too, pretty cool. It's set up like a surgery. All of them are. I'm telling you right now, all my friends, they are surgical. They're cleaner than your kitchens. But it's like, man, I got a lot of food. So, in case in point with Amore, the homemaker lesson was, holy cow, I've got all these tacos, I've got all these sides. We're not going to eat it all, because that's just crazy. But then what I did was I literally took everything and threw them into quesadillas, and we still had the chips, and made like a wicked quesadilla nacho night. And so really I got each meal for under $6. And it was a super deal. And I want you to think like that. So if you go to Osteria Rosa, or you go to Terra or whatnot, and they kill you with kindness and tons of food, just know that you can manipulate that. You know, if you get something from Osteria Rosa and maybe some meatballs, awesome. Well, chances are Perkins is going to give you too much food. But the next day, you could take a Van sourdough roll, or that night, take your Van sourdough roll, put cheese on the bottom, smush a meatball, put cheese on top. I'd put some giardiniera because I'm Italian, that's what I like. Put it in the sourdough roll, wrap it in foil, put it in the fridge. Next day, you throw those in the oven at about 350 for about 10-15 minutes until they're nice and hot. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be the best Italian grinder you ever had. And with Grandma Antonini and Grandpa Antonini, that's how they ate when they came home from school, because Grandpa Antonini had a restaurant, and the guys would come home and they would literally cut open a whole Italian loaf, right? And they just fill it with whatever's in the pot. And they'd always end up with giardiniera in it because it gives you that spicy crunch, that fresh feel, without worrying about anything going bad. And it's just delicious. So look at this. How fun is this, you guys? We're cooking along. I'm going to pull that green onion off of my chicken because, you know, we want to make that good. I'm just stirring up my onions now, which is cool. And they've got like a really good kind of char on them. Now then, here's the piece de resistance, or as the French would say, escargot, that. And I'm going to pour a ton of balsamic over everything. So I literally, God dang, that smells good. I literally poured the whole thing over it, right? And now I'm tossing in my spent berries, right? By the way, you guys, these bottles are awesome. You can play around with making your own. Like I've thrown some cinnamon sticks in some apple cider vinegar before. they're just great, like apothecary bottles. They're super fun, and you can fuse anything you want with it. Also, you can use these as your salt fusers. So you want to make a salt or a sugar with vanilla bean, that's great, because then you've got a vessel to pour it out on too. So reduce, reuse, recycle. Yes, Laura, I'm listening, and you're right, and I'm wrong, and you're pretty, and I'm not very attractive. But at the same token, that's how we learn from each other, and that's, again, about relationships. So now I'm literally going to let that cook covered. You could totally throw this in your oven. We're not gonna have to do that, right? We're just gonna have some fun with it. We're gonna kind of move it around like this, right? Because as that acid comes off that vinegar, it turns into sugar. So this is gonna be a really sweet dish. And I'm going to give it a little round the world right here, right? Look at it, it's bubbling, it's yummy. I'm gonna give you some bubble right now. It's delicious. We're gonna salt and pepper this now, right? Because everything needs a little salt and pepper. And then I'm gonna cover it like that. And then, look at that. Aye there, loves. I'd be lying to you if I wasn't telling you the truth. I kind of made a round of purchases with the Irish butter, and you notice how yellow it is and lovely? It's because I have to tell you this. I was in Ireland and I was talking to a dairy farmer, and I'm like, seriously, Ian, what is the deal with your butter? It's delicious. It's like frosting. I'd be lying to you if I wasn't telling you the truth. Well, that night we went on the Langers. We had good crack. We were steaming. We were pissed. That just means that we had good conversation at the bar. And he said to me, he looked at me deep in the eyes, and he said, Tommy, you'd overpass your mother's teat milk if you could in America. You don't have to over-pasteurize your dairy. And that is why it's so good. It's so delicious. It has those elements of what really came from the cow. It's just delicious. I love it. And I hope you like the Irish brogue there. So now, with that, this is a classic French way of finishing off anything good. Sorry, Tommy Trainer, don't judge. I'm going to finish it off with a little bit of butter, because that's going to give its gloss. That's going to give the sheen to this deliciousness, right? Now then, if you wanted to make this sauce on your own without the chicken, you could totally do it. But I just feel that when we deglaze something that we've sauteed, so deglazing means we're just adding liquid to the pan to get all the crunchy bits, the salty bits, all the flavor, and that goes into our sauce, and it's yummy. I just think that it's best to do this pan-seared. I have no idea. Maybe Joseph will share with me later on how he made that chicken taste so good. I'm gonna give it a flip for giggles, because look, now that balsamic has really infiltrated that breast, and I want it to do it again on the other side. So with that being said, we're gonna do that just for a couple more minutes, and we're gonna talk about some of the relationships that have been getting me through this. And I wanna talk about MS Creative because, well, here's the deal. Mark and Karen Sandstedt lived across the street from me on Union when I started the Tommy Fitzgerald group. That's me, everybody. There's no group. There's just a group of cool people that hire and help me out. And we're peers in Carrots. They were starting up MS Creative. I was starting up Tommy Fitzgerald. And they're a marketing firm, and they're based out of MASD. So since then, we've done tons of stuff. So if you've had my Uno Gringo salsas, that stuff was totally re-back engineered by Karen Sandstedt. And we're here, you know, because we had to close down Juice Ball this year again. You know, 2 for 2 this 2020. And we just started talking about refreshing my brand. And so now we've been working crazy with Amanda Thomas and Sarah Salagy and Mark and Karen Sandstedt to build a new website. So we're trying to really get this all incorporated. So I've been calling in from, you know, Tony and Claire's wedding, and I've been calling in all these people to get me pictures of stuff they've done because I want to put it on the website. Even putting a little Vicky Hall on the juice ball side. So we're gonna have like this killer website that kind of understands what I'm going through now. And especially with the Commons, we're not open yet, but we want to really remind you that, you know, we're gonna have some fun at the Commons when all this is over. So again, the relationships right now to all of us is very important. So I've contacted several friends that I haven't talked to in years. And I've had some friends contact me in years. This is how we're gonna get through this. We can social distance, we can talk, we can FaceTime, we can do the Facebook, we can do all that stuff. And that's what's gonna get us through this. And let the leaders show who they are. And then come November, we get to choose those leaders that we think that did a good job. So, and that goes from federal to your children's school. So on that note, think of those relationships that you haven't contacted and get out with it and pick up the phone. So look at this. This is just silly. This is not fair. Notice I've got rubber or silicone tongs for use here, right? Because we definitely want to make sure. Oh my gosh, you guys. I wish you could smell it. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's like blueberry pie meets like the most savory and wonderful thing that you're ever about to eat. And the onions with the crunch and the berries with the semi-crunch and the love in there. And look at that. That is just wicked cool. And that is what's for lunch. And again, you know, eat this all up. And if worse comes to worse and you don't eat it all, slice up the carrots, slice up the potatoes, slice up the chicken. You've got the most amazing salad. You could crumble a little blue cheese or your favorite cheese on this right now, but right now I think we're pretty good. Not that I don't love cheese, but remember, this is gonna be a cold, awesome salad too. You've got your vinegar, you got your little potatoes, right? You've got the delicious chicken, and you've got the carrot for green. You throw this on the mixed greens or whatever else you have, you're gonna be so happy tomorrow. So again, homemakers, keep it up, keep your chin up, keep being fed, and I love you, and I really do. I kind of miss you guys, right? So keep the questions coming. You're killing it on the questions.